there. Welcome back to the Board Game Specialists. We are on episode 49. We're going to talk about our New Year's gaming resolutions. I'm Carla.
And I'm Melanie.
And before we talk about that, let's talk about some of the games we've played and if we got any games for Christmas. What about you, Mel? What have you been playing?
Well, actually, Christmas was great. So I'll mention a few that I've gotten, and I'll mention some that I've played. So Lee got me the Iron Clays. Nice. And it was funny because it was a few gifts under the tree, then we would kind of call them different things. And that was the one that we called the brick. So I don't know what it is, but it's a brick. They're heavy. Like, these are hefty, very, like, condensed clays or whatever. So they're like little poker chips to utilize as money in board games, right? So made by Roxley Games. So I'm super excited for those. Nick also got me Barking Kitten, which is like an Exploding Kitten expansion, which was sweet. Then I've got money from, mothers and stuff. So then I've spent it already. So I've got Endangered coming, which I'm super excited because you've talked about it. And then just from what you were saying, I was like, I think I want that one. And then I've got 3,000 Scoundrel coming, and I'm so excited for that. And then Parks as well, which I've played once. And it's just like cute, neat component filler games. So super excited for those to arrive. But, it's like one of those things. I ordered them in the evening of Boxing Day, and then I've been like, okay, is it here? Is it? It's like, it's saying like January 9th. I'm like, no, that's too long. But I'm excited for those coming. And then yesterday, because I'm off between Christmas and New Year's, I ended up doing an afternoon game, and my friend Mike and Lyle, which a lot of my collection comes from, and my friend Travis came over, and we ended up playing a couple of games. So we played Furnace. And Furnace is so good because it's such a simple game to play, and it's a quick game to play, and but it's really, like, there's a lot going into it in a way, like, there's a lot of thinking going into it. So you have these cards that'll flip over, and you're building an engine, basically, and it kind of takes place in the evolution era, and then you're running factories, and then you gotta collect coal or iron or oil drums, and then you can kind of use your cards that you've acquired to convert some of these, and then eventually you can convert them into money. Now, money doesn't do anything for you. You can't buy anything, but there's a victory point, so you're trying to get as much money as possible. What's really neat about it is you get 4 tokens that are 4 different size that's labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you're placing them on these cards in the bidding phase. And whoever has the highest number on the card gets that card. But everybody else gets the resource that's listed on the top. So if you put a 3, it's like, okay, because there's, there's an iron bar there, and I'm going to put a 3 so I can activate that 3 times, so you would get 3 iron bars back if you got the consolation prize or whatever. But nobody puts a 4, so nobody gets the card. You get the card, so you don't get to actually pick up the resources. Anybody else who's played lower tokens on it would. But, so it's kind of interesting where you're trying to collect the resource, so you put your lower tokens there. But if you put a higher lower token, you get to collect more of that resource. And then the whole thing is just neat. It's clever, but it plays quick. I love it. And then we played Thebes, because I found Thebes secondhand on Facebook Marketplace. And I contacted the seller, and I kind of made an arrangement to pick it up. Then I called my sister, because I already own it. But my sister played it with me and loved it. And I was like, hey, Janice, I found this game. It's out of print. It's hard to find. And the guy was selling it for $25. So
it's called Thebes?
Thebes.
Oh, I thought you had Thebes.
I did. But I just purchased it for my sister. So I called her to say, I got this game if you want to go pick it up, because it's in Calgary. She's like, I don't know. I was like, you played this? She's like, no, I don't think so. And I was like, yeah, you did. She's like, and I'm describing the game. She's like, I haven't played that. And then I'm describing the game further. She's like, no, I haven't played that. Then I'm describing it some more. And she's like, oh, I did play that. I like that. So it's like, I know. birthday's coming up on the 11th of January. So I was like, I was going to buy this for you secondhand as a birthday gift because it's not available to purchase really new anymore. So she's like, okay, I'll go get it. So she went and got it, but then she brought it home so I can wrap it up to give it to her again on the 11th. But I was telling the story to the guys that were over yesterday, and then a couple of them had played Thebes. One hadn't, so he's like, okay, well, let's pull it out. Let's play Thebes. And we grabbed my copy of Thebes, and we ended up playing it. And Thebes is great. Like, it's like you're an archaeologist. So you go around Europe collecting knowledge on these different dig sites. And the more knowledge you have, like, the better you would be at excavating because you just kind of know where things are more. And then you have this dial, so be like, hey, well, I have 7 knowledge, so you turn the dial to 7. And it's like, and if I dig for 5 weeks, you get to pull 6 tokens out of the bag. So you'll go to the dig site, and then every time you travel, that costs time, and it's like that's kind of how it's kept track. You've got the time track on the outside. You go to the dig site, and then you pull those tokens out, and then afterwards, like all the artifacts you find, you get to keep. So then the ratio of sand token to artifact token is getting worse and worse and worse. And there's a couple of times I pulled all the tokens out, and then it's all sand. There was like nothing in my hand. I was like, wow, this isn't going great for me. And in fact, it didn't. I lost. But it was so much fun. And it was just, it's such a thematic, neat game. And this is an older one. I think it's published in like 2007. But I really like this one. So those are the 2 that we played yesterday. It was just a lot of fun. So how about you, Carla? What did you get and what did you play lately?
Well, I got a few party games played on Christmas. I had Christmas dinner, and then in the evening we played a bunch of games. And I did get Wolf played, so that was the one where you, the reader reads the card and decides. It's like all just different kinds of random trivia, not very well. Some of it's a difficult trivia, and they each have like 5 or 6 questions. And you look at them and go, okay, I think I know this the best. So I'm going to go lone wolf. So I'm going to answer these questions myself. And then the rest of the group is going to answer them. So I'm going against them. And if I go the lone wolf and I get it right, then I get more points than I would if I chose a pack. The other thing you could do is choose 1 or 2 people as your pack that maybe specialize in the questions that you're doing. And so it was really neat because we kind of would use the whole like kitchen and living room area and just kind of spread out, because I would be like, oh, I'm going to choose these 2, so I jump over there, and we have this dry erase board, and then the rest of the group has a dry erase board.
Nice.
And you write all the answers down, and then there's a tiebreaker question that you answer just in case, and then you flip it over and it has the answers. So it was really neat.
Was the dry erase board part of the game, or you guys had?
Yeah.
Neat.
No,
okay, cool.
It's just a little one, just
right.
to answer the questions. But there was all different kinds. There was sports. There was like capital cities. There was a flags one. There was one about certain types of meat in all these different dishes, like different ethnical dishes. And yeah, it was really neat. It was it went over well. But what went over even better was Green Team Wins. Everybody loved that game. Even my dad, he's like, I like this. And I'm like, well, yeah, you just sit there and answer questions and just try to figure out what the majority will say. And we played with 12 people, the full player count.
Oh,
so
neat.
We also played Poetry for Neanderthals.
So I mean, I've seen this one, and every time I was like, what is this? But not enough to look it up.
But all you do, like, and it comes with this inflatable, what is it called? Like what a caveman would, a club, big inflatable club. And so it has like a similarity to like Taboo in that you have to describe a word, but you can only say 1-syllable words to describe it. So you can say whatever you want, but you talk like a caveman basically, right? Like, me go to store like food. Like, you know, you just, if you're describing something. So my brother, he couldn't, it was so funny because he'd say words. He's like, that's 1 syllable. I'm like, no, it's not. Don't you know your syllables? And then some people, they just wouldn't believe that a 2-syllable word was 2. They were like, no, that's 1. I'm like, oh my God, I literally have to fight to describe syllables. But
nice.
It was still really fun. And then the last one that I think was the best, like everyone really, really enjoyed, was the Chameleon. We played
really cool.
And yeah, it's so fun. We played full player count with that one. I think 8 is the full player count. And you just all have this card. Everybody reveals a card, and everyone has either a grid on it or one that just says you are the chameleon. Yeah. And then you have this category card in the middle, and say it's like transportation, and it'll have like, I don't know if it's an 8x6 or 5 grid or something, but there's all these words on it. And so then you roll this dice, and you have a yellow 3 and a blue 4, and then you look on your grid, and that's the word that you're trying to describe. Well, the chameleon doesn't know what word it is, right? So then you go around the table, and everybody uses a word to describe that word, but they want to be kind of vague because they don't want the chameleon to know. And when it comes to the chameleon, he has to also say a word to try and blend in.
Yeah.
And it's really hard if you're the chameleon and you have to say the first word. Very vague, right? But it was hilarious. We kept thinking that it was some people because they just gave stupid words. We're like, that's them for sure. But the chameleon would escape. And then if they don't get guessed, they get like more points. And they also get a chance to guess the word to give them more points. But if you do guess who the chameleon is, you get a point. Like it's really cool.
Yeah, chameleon is neat.
Yeah, so those were the Christmas games. Some of the Christmas games that we played. So I got quite a few games for Christmas from my husband, and my kids, I think, got me 1 or 2, and my dog gave me the best games ever.
That dog is amazing. Paul didn't get me.
No, Ozzy got me lots, but a couple of them that I got. Well, these are the ones that I got. I got Azul Chocolatiers.
Oh, neat.
I got Wayfarers of the South Tigris. So that's the newest.
The South series, then, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah.
I got Astra.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I had got this twice, actually. One from my friend and then one from my husband. So I had returned one and then got some more games at the Wizards Loft sale. But that one we've played, and it is awesome. The theme is so cool because it's astrology, and it's all like the stars and like your signs, like your like, you know, Gemini, Cancer, all that kind of thing. And at first I just thought it was a roll and write, but it's actually not at all. That's just how you record things. It's like a kind of got an area control, but like an engine building management. Like, it's really cool. It's so unique and different. I totally recommend that game. I got Cathedral. Now this is an older kind of like chess-like game, but it's a 2-player, kind of like Blockus.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You can enclose somebody, and then they have to take their pieces out and have to still try and place them.
Oh.
It's quite neat. Yeah. It was really cool. And then I got a couple little ones too. I got Longboard, which is the new Reiner Knizia, kind of has a similarity to Lost Cities. I got Photograph, which is like a Sashi and Sashi game, I believe. A little card game that's always talked about. I got Mamma Mia, which you have always talked about, which I'll
Mamma Mia is fun.
I got Winter. This is a little tiny 2-player abstract strategy game, which is just cards and some little chits, and it's quite neat as well. And it's kind of a hard one to explain, but it's very small, and you just have these different colored snowflakes, and each player has one color, and then you're just trying to like move the cards around to like make a big snowflake, and then you're continually moving them around, and once they're all out there, then it starts to thaw, and you have to pull off your chips and try and move your card around to make more, or just remove them, and you just keep going until there's one chit left on the table.
Cool.
That's the winner. It's quite neat. And then I got a couple exits, which I'm getting into, and I think that's it for the game. Well, no, there's more, but I'm going to talk about it later on. But when I returned that one of the Astras, I went to Wizard's Loft and they had a sale, and every
They
day
have
it
a
would go
major
down.
sale there, yeah.
They started off with 15%, then it went to 25%. Yesterday it was 35%. Today
Yeah.
I bet it's gonna be even more. But I purchased Paris, which
Nice.
is a Michael Kiesling and Kramer game. I got Annapurna and Momiji. Now those are just small card games, which I'm not 100% sure about. I'm gonna have to look up if I totally... Momiji's like a nature-themed leaf game, which of course I love.
It's right up your alley, yeah.
But, yeah, and then I also did an order on Board Game Geek on Boxing Day too. Or Board Game Bliss, sorry.
Yeah.
And I got a couple there, just some little games. But Akropolis is a new tile laying game.
Oh, neat, yeah.
Mr. Jack had a great sale. It was like $20 from, I don't know,
Yeah.
35 or something. And then I got this game called Suspects that people have been talking about. It's kind of like a mystery crime game, escape room, but it has like, I think 3 scenarios in it. But they said it's really good, and it's like board game style. So
There's
there's also
cool.
a sequel that is just made. So I'm looking forward to those. But
Nice.
yeah, let's get into our resolutions.
Yes.
Now, was this a tough list for you?
Well, you know, yes and no. Like, I make New Year's resolution board game related almost every year, and then I don't complete any of them ever, really. So I was kind of making this list, and I was like, oh, I should do this, put that on there, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I was like, I'm not gonna complete that. Oh, I should do this. Yeah, I'm not gonna complete that, and I don't know if that really matters. So I have what I'm planning to work on, and then what's believable might be a different list.
Yeah, that's right.
How about you?
I
How'd
don't
you
have
find
an
that?
honorable mention because the one that dropped off, I don't have to do. So I'm not even going to say
Oh, I
that.
have an honorable mention, this one.
Yeah?
And this
Okay.
is one that I was like, yeah, there's no way. So, well, because one thing too, BG Stats have under challenges, and they have a bunch of like templates of challenge you can set up for yourself and keep track of them, which is great. And then there's a few of them I was like, oh, I never thought of that. I'm going to put that on my list or whatever. One of them is play my entire collection. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm not doing that. There's no way. I've played 500 some games this year. My collection is just under 600. You know, like, probably couldn't, I just know it's not going to happen to play my entire board game collection in 1 year. Not terrible.
And
Maybe
some
I
of
have
those
too many games.
500-ish plays are games playing more.
Other
games,
people's
right?
games and
So,
stuff, right? They're not
yeah,
all mine.
exactly.
So, and then playing multiple games, game multiple times, like those are plays, not games played per se. So that's my honorable mention. Play my entire collection. I think that's a great challenge. It's not one I'm going to accomplish, so it's not officially on my list.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't get that done.
Yeah.
One of mine that would have been like an honorable mention was to play my games I didn't play last year. But
Oh, yeah. That would be a lot.
it would be a feat to go through and look at the ones that I didn't play. I probably could just pick them out, but
Yeah.
I mean, I still go through my collection from time to time and I look, I'm like, do I still love you? And if the answer
Does this
is
spark
sort
joy?
of, if it's sort of, then it goes in the maybe buy buy pile.
Right.
But sometimes they squeak out of there and they sneak back onto the shelf. So.
Yeah, not for sure.
Yeah. All right.
Perfect.
So what's your number 9?
So my number 9. Now I just moved. Over the summer I moved. I got all my games set up here, and I've got all my. But after we did all that, I bought a new 5x5 Calyx, which is almost filled up now. Like this, I moved 130 games ago, right? Like there's been a lot of new games. And so my number 9 is better organization. I like to have my games sorted. I've done by color, which looks amazing, but you can't find anything. And then I've done by themes, or I've done by player count, and I've done by like different by the publishers and that sort of stuff. And right now because of all those new games that's come, they're not organized. And I want to kind of take a time and come up with like a better organizing system so that they're all set up, they all look great. But I mean, that's a huge task. But that's, come up with a better organization for the games. That's my number 9 New Year resolution.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I like it. Well, my number 9 is kind of relying on maybe you or possibly Ashley or somebody else, but I'm sure I'd find someone who has it just because I don't think I would buy it to try it. But I'm going to play my first RPG, and that is the game The Shivers. Now, I told you guys about this one, and I think I would like it, but I'm not 100% sure. Now, it's like an escape room type game, but it's actually a pop-up game. And
what? Okay.
I think I described, maybe I didn't describe it to you.
I don't know. It's like, okay.
Anyway, so it's a pop-up game. You pop up these house scenes. So you start with one, and it's like a room. So you pop it up, and there's all this, like it's like a little tiny escape room. And
okay, that's cool.
And figure stuff out. But you have a storyteller, which is, I would say, like a dungeon master, right? Who kind of controls the game and explains things and tells you where to go and what options you have. And but it's all behind the screen, like it's all written there. So they have the screen in front of them where you're looking at the room, and then they are reading things. And the cool thing is these games can change because you slide in behind the room different things that, like, say there's a library or something where it has all these shelves and different books. Well, depending what card you slide in, there's going to be different things hidden in there. Like, it's
that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds really interesting.
Rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many rooms that, like, you kind of will look in this room, and you have these little cardboard, I don't know if they're acrylic standees or these standees, but you move around the room and look through things, and then you might have to find, like, something, and then, sure enough, you look in the fireplace and you dig through and it's in there. And then they're like, okay, well, this means you have to go to this room. Just like an escape room, kind of.
Right.
And then they'll pop up this next room that is, like, I think magnetized to that room.
How big is this box?
It doesn't look that big. You have to look at an unboxing.
Right, I would have to.
On YouTube. But it's not here yet in Canada. And
of course.
I would not be, I don't think, a good storyteller. So I'd have to play it as a non-storyteller to see if... But I know, like, Ashley likes some role-playing, so I think she'd be a really good storyteller. Yeah. And I'm sure she would like to play it as well, but I think this is something you would like too.
I think so. That sounds really interesting, yeah.
I think that would be my first time if I could find someone who had this game, or maybe at a convention try it out or something, but this year I want to try it, and that's going to be my first, like, RPG, I would say. It's my number 9.
That sounds really neat.
What about you?
All right. My number 8 is, okay, so if you are on Instagram or on Facebook in any board game groups at all, you've seen my posts probably. I post a lot. It's like I post a lot. And every time I play games, I take pictures and I post them and stuff. But most of the time, I'm like a lazy photographer. I take pictures from where I'm sitting and that angle, and sometimes I'll zoom in and stuff. But, most of the time the board is is upside down and stuff. So I want to start taking, like, great, because you'll have, like, some people that take pictures like, holy cool, like, it's beautiful and professional, and the game looks so great. And I was like, okay, I should kick up my game on my photographer skills or whatever. So just want to be able to start taking, like, better pictures of the games when we play the game, instead of just like, oh wait, quick games, like, let's take, like, great pictures. So that's my number 8. Take better pictures of games.
That's good. You do take good pictures of games, but I know what you mean, where there's like some that just the lighting, I
have no idea what they do. It looks amazing. There's this one person I follow that shows like behind the picture and how he sets up the game and stuff, and it's so interesting because it'd be like, and he's like gets it all set up, and then like he'll drop stuff, or he has something holding something up, but the angle you can't see it, and it looks amazing. So yeah, I want to do more of that, mostly like in the pictures that I put on my videos and that sort of stuff. Like I want to start having better pictures. So
yeah, have you ever watched Tim Chon? I believe on YouTube. Tim, I don't know if I'm saying his name right. I think it's Chun, but his, like, I don't know what he does, but his lighting and stuff that he does on his is a YouTube channel, but I'm sure he actually, I wonder if he has an Instagram account, but like, I don't know how he sets things up, but his pictures are just awesome. Like, it's neat. And there's some on Instagram where like they literally will, put them in on a beach.
Right? Like someone's like, whew, like, what? Not that dedicated. Maybe green screen behind and I'll add that up.
Yeah. No,
but
some cool things. Yeah,
and I just kind of start taking like neater. I mean, at least have the board the right way. Maybe start small, but yeah.
All right. So now my number 8 is. This is kind of funny because we had talked about this in, I think it was our last episode, our Shelf of Shame.
Oh.
I want to try and keep my Shelf of Shame to under. I think I have to change that percentage.
You're already doing so good.
No, that's too high. Yeah, to 2% of my collection.
Yeah,
so
right that
now
makes sense.
Right, and it was only at 16 games, but I've since gotten a bunch for Christmas, and I ordered some, like I told you. So that would put me at around 18 games right now that I can keep it at.
Shame.
Which, I know. But it's higher than that right now. So I have to get it there. But it's not January 1st. I could play a bunch tonight, right?
Yeah. You could start the year.
Because I can't be...
It's New Year's Eve, by the way, today for us. So you have one day.
Oh, no. We're staying up all night. But I can't be unrealistic and say... I'm going to play all my Shelf of Shame before I put in another game. And I'm not mocking people that say that, because that is a really good one and it really should be that way. But there's no way that I would ever have a 0 Shelf of Shame. Mm-hmm. And then, get one game and play it. Like, no, that's not realistic for me. I have a collector inside of me that likes to,
needs to be let free.
Something. I need to get one of each color.
Do you have this game in blue?
Yeah. So that's my number 8. Keep my Shelf of Shame to 2% of my collection.
That's good. Yeah, that I should do the same thing, but add a digit. Keep my Shelf of Shame under 20%. All right. So my number 7. Okay. So last year, I don't know if you remember. Last year, I did that. I wasn't going to buy games. And I didn't buy a single game of the month of January.
You going to do that this month?
And then in February, I went insane. After I snipped the tip of my finger, and I was like, I'm going to make myself feel better with games. And then I just... Yeah.
It's like you starved yourself and then went on a binge.
Oh, exactly. You know what? So I've discovered last year that doesn't work for me. I don't not buy games. And if I do force myself to not buy games, it has bad repercussions. So my number 7 is do not get more games than I have room for. But I have 5 whole cubbies on my 5x5 that is completely empty. And things aren't organized at their optimal. But kind of so basically it's not just okay, fill the cubbies. I just... I guess try to, and then like I normally do where I don't buy a game unless it kind of comes across my path or whatever. So I try not to seek out games too much. But so keep the buying under control and don't let myself get overrun with board games. Mostly I have a large space. I have a large collection. I've got lots of rooms for games, but we're not going beyond that room. So that's my number 7.
Nice. But there's always renos, right?
Carla? No, in that room, that's the rule.
The games room is at the front of the house. You could add on a new... No, just kidding. Okay. My number 7 is play the whole T series. Now, what the T series is it's these T games that are made by Board and Dice. And a lot of them are made by the same designers, but some are different. And those include Teotihuacan, Tabanusi, Tikanu, Trismegistus, Sulcan, and also Teledum, I believe, is in one of them.
I don't think I've played a single one of those.
Oh, really? Well, and there's I'm not sure if Terracotta Army is in the T series, but it might be. But I'll have to find that one out for sure. That's the only one we don't have between me and Cherry. Between me and Cherry, we have the rest of the T series.
Nice.
And I have 3 of them. So she has 3, plus we have to figure out about this Terracotta Army. But I love Teotihuacan, Tzolk'in, and Teledum. And those are the ones I own. And they are... I actually love them. She has Tabanusi, Tikanu, and Trismegistus. They are not my favorites, but I've only played them each once. So
right.
I'm going to try them again, but I want to do that this year, is get those all played, because it's just so I can kind of rank them and see which ones, if my 3 are the best, or if according to me, of course, my opinion. But they are great games. They're usually they are all heavy, and Teledum I don't find as heavy, but I can't wait to get all those to the table this year. I wouldn't do it all in one sitting. Your brain would be absolutely fried. But,
right.
I will definitely try to get those played this year.
Nice.
Number 7.
That's great. My number 6 is actually one of the challenge that was on the template for the BG stats. And I kind of got the idea from them, because a lot of time concentrate on your shelf of shame, because you have games that haven't been played. But if you start considering how many games have you played once, and that's it, or how many games that you've played but it's been years since you've played them again. So this is one of the ones that they have, and it's number 6, replay the underplayed games. And basically it's any games that I have, because it'd be like, oh yeah, I really like that one. Like, one of my favorite games, Astra's Rise of the Phoenix Born. I love it. It's such an amazing game. I love it. And it's still like I keep saying how I love this game so much, but I haven't played it in years, because nobody in my household likes it. So it's like, okay, so kind of start getting those games that I know I love, that are up there. And I was like, oh, that's such a great game. Like, let's get those played again. And then the way that they have it set up on the app is you could do like, hey, 20 games. So that's how I've set up, like, replay 20 of the games that I haven't played in over a couple years. So, and then, you could try to do them all, but or set a number, but yeah, so that's one of my goal, is kind of revisit those old favorites, right?
Oh my gosh, when you just said that last word, that is my number 6.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, I was like, oh, it's kind of like mine, but mine is literally play my old favorites.
Yeah.
Is my number 6, because like I have them and I'm keeping them for a reason, but they, like, the new hotness comes out so much that it's like, oh yeah, you'll get played. No, bring them out, because the old ones, and when you do play them, it's like, oh yeah, it's so smooth, and the mechanics, like, they were so smart, and it's not fidgety, and awesome. We synced up there.
Well, yeah, no, that makes sense. There's just so many games that's like, oh, that was great, we're keeping that, but yeah, just kind of getting it played again. So So number 5 for me is another one that I found on the BG Stat template thing. And this one is to play through the alphabet. Oh, yeah. And so that's the way it's only 26 games. Completely doable. As of right now.
Not every A game, not every
No. So play one game at least for each letter of the alphabet. So kind of play through the alphabet. I don't own any X games at the moment. I used to have X code and I gave it to my sister. So
let's see if
is it Zaya Project could be?
Oh no. No. Oh, yeah. It's XIA, right?
XIA, yeah. But, so otherwise, I think my collection represents a letter for each letter of the alphabet. Which one?
X-Nimit. Have you played that?
No.
It's a card game. It would be good for your family.
There you go. So, so that's one of the things is play a game for each letter of the alphabet, which is only 26 games, should be completely doable. Yeah. That's my number 5.
I like it. I might have to try that one out too. Maybe we can do it like through the podcast. You say, okay, we're going to do A and then I'll pick an A game too or something. We can try and do that one together maybe. That's cool. But we might have different games for each letter or something. Mm-hmm. Awesome. I like it. Okay. My number 5 is a don't. It's a don't buy every version of a single game, which I do all the time. If I see a game and there's 5 versions of it, the roll and write, the card game, the, video game, like whatever, I've got to try them all. But I don't end up playing them all. Like good thing I don't have Terraforming Mars, because if I would have had that before the Ares, I would have never played it again, because I really like the card game version of Ares. So that's one that I haven't bought in every version of, but most games I have. So I really have to look into which is the best version of the game. I mean, sometimes I do get the 2 versions, like, okay, I've got Thebes. I still haven't got it physically, but I have bought it from a friend. And the Thebes, the card game.
I want to play Thebes, the card game, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome, the card game. Like, I don't know, it might even replace the big game. And I'm like, oh, well, too late. I have both of them. But I really need to figure out which is the best version of them. Unless it's like one of my top 10, 20 games that I would play and probably play every version, which I'll have to look through my list if that's a thing, but you'll get to hear about those in our top 50. But I have to stop doing that because it's I don't need every version of one single game. Yeah. So that's one of the don'ts for me. I have another don't coming up, but
all right. My number 4 is my shelf of shame. And this is something that I kind of make a point of. I do the hashtag Shed the Shame Friday. So every Friday I talk about the games I got off the shelf of shame. And I find this one, if you don't kind of keep that in your forefront to make sure you play your unplayed games and they just sit there forever. Like Robo Rally has been on my shelf of shame for so long, and I know I like it. It's just a matter of getting it to the table and getting willing players to play it and that sort of stuff. But I also won't get rid of games if I haven't tried them. I say, well, no, I haven't tried them. Maybe I like it, so I'm not getting rid of that. So I do need to get my shelf of shame played. And I think I'm at 23% right now because and then more games are coming, so it's going to go up. So I need to get some more played. But that's something that, like you said, you're trying to keep yours under 2%. Maybe I'll go try to keep mine under 20 for now, just because that makes more sense for me for where I'm at and how many unplayed games I have. But, that's my number 4. Play my shelf of shame.
And what if you did something like, say you have to play at least 5 shelf of shame games a month or something.
Oh, and I do.
You do that. Oh, that's good. Yeah. I was going to say, so at least it's moving. It's flowing at least.
No, and it is, for sure. Because mostly since I do the Shed the Shame Friday, because every week I talk about 2 to 3 to 4 different games I've played off the shelf of shame. It's just, there's that many coming in, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as it's flowing. The river's flowing, so you're good.
Yeah, there's no blockage there.
Yeah. All right. My number 4 is another Play All series. Now, this is play all my Uwe Rosenburg games. Now, I have quite a few, but I love them all, and will never get rid of these games. Like, even if I don't play them for 5 years, they're going to stay there, because one day it's going to come back off the shelf, and I just admire this designer, even though a lot of people say, well, they're kind of all samey. But they're not. Like, they all, like, he does a lot of farming games. He does a lot of polyomino tile games, but they're all each different. And I have his tile ones, the Nova Luna, Sagani. Oh, I did pick up your Nova Luna, by the way.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Nova Luna, Sagani, and then Framework. They're all kind of similar, but I still feel like they're different enough to have them all. So I want to play all of his games this year. And I probably played almost all of them last year, but maybe a few of the bigger ones I didn't get to the table. The first one I want to get to the table of his is Feast for Odin. I don't think I got that one to the table last year. And Ashley hasn't played it. I know you weren't a fan, but it's one of those games the first play is like...
And you know what? I get that
there's no way you're getting through this.
Like, I'll play a game, I'm like, eh. And then I'll play it again, it's like, oh. And then I play it again, it's like, okay, this is a great game. Like, so great games do tend to grow on me. It was just after that one, I was like, yeah, if I never do that again, I'm okay.
Well, and you had an auction dangling in front of you too, so that was...
I was distracted.
Oh, there's an auction over there. So I get it, but yeah, that's my number 4. Play all my Uwe Rosenburg games.
Perfect. My number 3 is kind of board game related, but it's for my YouTube channel. So I want to create more content and better content for my YouTube channel. Now, we're about to start a top 50 game here for the podcast. But when you do a top 50, you don't sort your top 50 games. You have to sort I did my top 243 games to figure out which one my top 50 games are. So I'm going to start doing my top 100 on the YouTube channel. I also became an OFPG Voices with our Family Plays game, so I have a few of those coming up that I'll be doing with them. So just kind of continue to do more and improve the content that goes on the YouTube channel. And that's my number 3.
Awesome. Yeah, that you did 210. Wow. So, and I think...
No, 243. I went through the list. I'd be like... Yeah, I kind of went through the list. I'd be like, this one could be top. This one I know I like. And then you think it's like, oh, this one's okay. It's like, no, I'm not putting that one on the list. Oh, this one's... No, not on the list. It's not going to be top 100. So I did all that.
But now you know... Yeah.
Yeah, now I know my top 200 games, right? Yeah.
I know.
That was like, I don't know, 1,500 comparison.
Oh, yeah.
It took forever.
How long did it take you?
It took an entire day.
I did it in a few sittings.
Yeah, I had it kind of my phone set up there, and I would kind of go and do other stuff and then go and do it. So it took an entire day. But... Yeah.
No, I did 186, I think.
But
I put in every game I thought would be in probably my top 100.
Yeah.
And some of the comparisons, like on Pub Meeple, if no one knows what that is, you'll put in as many games as you want, or you can literally put in your whole collection. You just have to put your password in or whatever. And it'll compare a game to another game, and you just choose which you would prefer.
Which you prefer between the two, yeah.
The more games you put in, the more comparisons it'll do. So, I mean, mine took, I'm sure, a couple hours, but I just did it over.
Because it tells you in the beginning, you're about to do 1,600 comparison. Yeah. I'm like, okay, there we go.
And some of them are super easy. You're like, oh yeah.
It gets tough.
This one, then some two come up, and you're like, no! What am I going to choose?
Yeah.
My decision is going to affect the rest of eternity here.
Right? Like, it's like, oh my God, this is a tough one. Yeah.
So I would leave the screen. I'm like, I'm going to walk away, think about it for a bit, come back, and it's still a hard decision. But yeah, some of them are tough for decisions.
Did you adjust your list afterwards, or did you know that's what it is?
I haven't adjusted, but I did literally with a fine-tooth comb go through my collection, and I missed like 20 games that I have to now plug into those top, and one of them is definitely on my top 50, so I don't know where I'm gonna put it and which one's gonna go. So
I've played a few since I did the list, and I was like, nope, sorry, the list was that cut off. You didn't make it.
Yeah,
but
too late.
Yeah,
you missed the deadline.
Better luck next year.
All right, so that was your number 3.
Yes.
My number 3 is play with 10 new people on BGA.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've been loving BGA. It's awesome. It's great when you just have 10 minutes and you're like, I just want to get in a quick game. You can play, and you just type in play now, or you just hit play now, and it'll just randomly select someone to play with. But you can choose to play with friends, and it can be a play now as well, which is you can play turns over 2 days. You can do one turn over 2 days, so the games can take forever, but at least you're playing with people you know. You can also play real time with people you know, or with randoms, and you can also use video, so you can talk while you're playing. Yeah, which is cool. Which I would love to set us all up on a game, we could play just one with our Discord or something.
Yeah.
All of us would be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
We can do one night or something, but we should definitely do that. But I definitely want to try and play with 10 new people. So anyone who wants to play BGA, we can play a turn-based one that, you have time to do your turn and you just go back and forth. Hit me up on one of my social medias and we will play.
Because she needs to find 10 of yous.
Yeah, 10 people.
All right. That was your number 3.
Yeah.
My number 2 is play more. And then I've put kind of family/game group. So I tend to play every second Fridays. And then I'll have some people come over, but I want to be able to kind of, and that's what I find, if you do an open event and then you never know who's coming, then you have we're 8 people, then it's okay, well, I guess party game, or you divide the group into 2 games. But when you do, a lot of people, when they're well, no, let's all play together, it's but then that really limits what you can play. So then if you kind of, okay, well, I'm going to invite only 4 people, and then you invite 4 people, then 3 can't come. And then I was okay, well, then now what? So having a nice, steady group would be great. So that's one of the things I'd like to kind of have going. And then just with my family, playing more. Lily's been amazing lately with wanting to play all the time, and that's been great. But to kind of do a little bit more family gaming together. And then, not force everybody into it. It's no fun if they're forced into it, but just kind of have more opportunities to play with the family. We did actually over Christmas and New Year's a siblings day. My sister and my brother came over, and she's I can't remember last time we played together. And then we grew up playing board games together all the time. So then we ended up playing, we played Camel Up, and then my sister went home and bought it that day.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, so we played a few games, and when we played Power Grid, the card game, which was great as well. So just, kind of have more, play a little bit more. I played, so far, we're playing tonight again, but I've played 543 times this year. So I play lots, but just kind of, just have a bit more gaming opportunities, I guess.
Nice. That's a good one. All right, my number 2 is another stop, and this is a stop buying every expansion to the game. Because I am starting to find, and people have told me this before, but I was no. But it's true. Some expansions don't make the game better. It's true. I've realized it finally. Some of them just make it more fidgety or more complicated and actually take away from the love of the base game.
Yeah.
So I really need to look into is it changing the game? Is it changing it for the better? Is it still smooth? Is it adding unneeded time to a game, which sometimes expansions will do?
Yeah.
So I've just, like, it was like a light bulb that I realized, like, I can't even remember which game I was playing. I was like, this expansion is almost making this game less enjoyable because of the fidgetiness of it and you know, the time it adds and stuff. Oh, maybe it was Paladins. Like, it's good stuff it adds, but it just adds so much stuff. It adds so much more setup that it's like, because it was because I was doing my top 50 and I thought this game would have been higher than it was. You'll see. But and I'm like, is it because of the 2 expansions I have for it? I think it is. So I really need to look into more, you know, study it more if I really need it, if it's going to add more, keep it smooth, and will keep the joy and love of the game that I have and the reason why I would have bought it. So yes, I need to stop buying every expansion for a game, for my games, unless it's going to increase the enjoyment.
Yeah.
That's my number 2.
Good. So we're to number 1. So my number 1 resolution for this new year is to get more people into board game.
Ooh.
Mainly because I moved to a tiny small village that probably doesn't like have a whole lot of gamers per se. So just get more people into it. You know, maybe like somebody had kind of mentioned about doing like an after school program with kids and different things like that. So just to, because it's not that, I mean, you have some people that just do not like board games, and that's fine. You don't have to. You know, like some people don't like board games. For most of us, we just didn't know there were these great games out here. And then when we first got into it, it's like, that was amazing. What was that? And what else is out there? Like, and to kind of have more people discover just how great board games can be. So that's my number 1 goal, is to get more people into board games.
Oh, that's a good one. I feel like I try that all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a tricky feat, because I think you can push people away sometimes.
Yeah.
Not you. I'm not saying you.
No, but definitely,
us gamers in general, because like I think I scare some people away sometimes with.
It's like, you like board games? Here, try Feast of Odin.
Yeah. Well, no, I've learned not to put out some heavy ones, but it's the amount. Like, I'm like, ooh, here's 10 games we're gonna try tonight, and they're like, what?
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
So now I will bring out 10, but 8 of them are hidden like on the chair.
Let me show you these 2,
and then I can just pull them out if we have more time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a thing that all us gamers should really be trying to do
yes, I think so,
in a calm and chill way, where we don't scare people out of the hobby but bring them in. And that is the one trick. Like, what is the game that is gonna get that person to just be like, ooh, I want more? You know? And each person, it's going to be different. That's the trick. I don't think there's one game that can do it.
I mean, honestly, it could be any game. Like, you'd be like, that was neat. Yeah. You know, it's like, let's play that again. And it's like, and then play it again. And then at one point it's like, want to try another? It's like, well, that one was completely different. I was like, right. So, yeah.
Well, isn't that the best feeling ever, when you can see that in somebody, when it's a new person to games and you can see them just go, oh, like you're like, oh, they got that spark.
It's right there.
I want more. Yeah.
More kindling.
Yeah. I've gotten a few of my friends I've seen that in them, and it's like they want more. And like, ooh, I've got lots to show you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's awesome. That's a good one. All right. Well, my number 1 now. real talk here. This could be a whole new rabbit hole for me.
Oh, no.
Because my number one is to play more puzzle solving, crime solving, escape room games, which I typically, before this last few weeks, didn't really love. I didn't really like escape room games.
That's what you were saying,
really love crime solving. I didn't like even going to escape rooms. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll go, and yeah, it was fun, but it was just like, they're too hard. Like, that was in my mind. Or I've done some unlocks, and there was one that I really liked, but some were like, oh, I didn't get that. Or I've done some exits with a friend, and I was probably pretty useless for it. But this month, I don't know what's gotten into me. Maybe it was buying that advent calendar, that exit advent calendar.
My brother got me one. So, yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did you do it?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. But I am hooked. I'm hooked.
That's great.
You know, it's funny because I don't know how this person reached out on Facebook. Oh, I was looking for the Eternal Flame.
Right.
This one that I...
Oh, so you got it. Nice.
And yeah, I posted that I was in search of, and this girl from Edmonton reached out and said, oh, they sell it at this place. And she said, have you played lots of these? And I said, no, I haven't at all. And I'm not very good at them, but I'm getting interested in them. She goes, oh, well, you have to go on this Facebook site and I will get you hooked on these games. And I was like, uh-oh. So now I have entered a whole new world here because I have more games that I have got for Christmas that I didn't mention, and they are all about this. I have gotten, they're on the way, or I have them, and so the Emerald Flame is written and illustrated by Rita Orlov from Post Curious Games, and so I have since ordered Adrift and Light in the Mist, which are also her games. Adrift is the newest one, but it is supposedly the most streamlined. So I'm waiting for that one to come to do first, which is torture because I want to dive into this Emerald Flame, but I do want to go in baby steps because I am kind of a beginner. The Light in the Mist I've talked about, it's the tarot cards, but they're all different puzzles, and there's different puzzles on each card, and you have to figure out which cards are for which scenario kind of thing, which has such good reviews and people just love it. Now, going more into some of the murder mystery ones, I have got, for Christmas, I got a murder mystery party, 2 of them, one for me and my husband to do. I got a cold case, which we actually did, and it was like a beginner version of it, and we loved it, and he likes it. I've gotten a Hunt a Killer, the Nanct Drew. I have coming so now I want to try one of each kind because to see which ones are the best. So I have an Unsolved Case files coming. I've been doing some escape or exits. Another cold case coming. I'm trading some, this girl who's saying, you know, I'm going to get you into this hobby. She has these scarlet envelopes, these Enigma Emporium postcard mysteries. There's so many. Oh, I have box 1 coming from, what's his name now? Doogie Howser. What's his real name? The actor. Why am I blanking?
Oh, anyway, yeah, because I saw that he made a game.
Yeah, he made this game, and it's basically for a solo version, but you could play it with another person. But it, like on this puzzle page that I'm on, these puzzle mystery Facebook page, everyone's just like, yeah, you got to try this one. It's beginnerish, so it's another one I want to try at the beginning. But I got it on eBay. I have to pick that one up in Edmonton.
Nice.
So there's so many, and it's. I don't really need another rabbit hole to go through, but I am.
Oh, why not?
And I'm loving it. Oh, and one more thing. I was at my thrift store the other day, and what was there but Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective.
That was cool.
Like the number 1 box, the first one, which is a $65
$70 game, yeah.
Yeah. I got for $7.99, and it is like brand new. And I've done 2 of the cases. Not very well. It didn't do very well at all. But it's so fun.
That's great.
Trying to figure it out. I'm going to try one with my husband next and see if it helps. I think those ones, 2 brains at least you need.
I think that helps,
that one is or maybe it's just my brain.
Well, it's when you got two doing it, like, because you just see things slightly differently, and you kind of
different perspectives,
exactly,
and things like that. Yeah, no, it's I am so loving this, and it's not going to take away from my board game. I still love all my board games. These are things I can do solo, and that I, don't have to have people to do, like the Emerald Flame and those ones. I'm planning to just do myself.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, and there's more. I've also gotten these books. I've ordered these puzzle books. Have you heard of Journal 29?
No.
So it's just this book full of puzzles, but it's still like I think a mystery that you have to go through it.
Oh, neat.
So it's quite interesting. So I've looked in, and there's a whole list of those books.
You did open a rabbit hole.
I did. But I'm waiting for my used bookstore to reopen next week in Red Deer here to see if
I'll see what they've got there. Nice.
Yeah. But these are ones you can do, like, like a lot of times in the summer when I'm sitting on my deck, I will bring out a game, and then it's windy and stuff will blow, and then I'm like, okay, I can only bring out tile. Well, I can bring out a book and just, do those things. So I think it'll be awesome. And yeah, it's a whole new genre for me that I am diving into, but I can't wait.
That's neat.
And explore. And I think those ones, board games are great for your mind, but these ones, the difference for me is a lot of them you just open up and you're like, okay, what do I do? But it doesn't tell you what to do. You have to figure out what to do first
it's really
before you even know. So it's like
grow your mind.
And just like the exits are kind of like that too, where it's like the first one I did, I'm like 5 seconds go by, I don't know what to do, give me a hint. Well, now I'm like, I'll maybe wait 10 seconds. I'll wait a little bit longer, and then so it really makes you really think outside the box. I think it'll be good for your brain.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm looking forward to it. And these are, a lot of them are resellable, pass them on to people. They're not destroyed. So it doesn't feel like I'm investing a huge amount, where I can still resell them for a decent amount of money or pass them on, share them with friends, So all you of my friends out there are also going to get to enjoy some of these things before I pass them on. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to all those. Can't wait to do these.
Yeah, that's great.
Puzzles and stuff. But that's it for our resolutions. Yeah. Now, next week we are starting our top 50.
Oh, that's exciting. I'm so excited. I'm very excited for the top 50. I've got all my top 100 written down here. And yeah, I did the list. I didn't change it at all. It is what it is. PubMePool told me what my top 50s are, and I'm going with it. So it's very exciting. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then also we have a Discord now.
Yes.
Which we have posted some collections on there. We have all different categories to talk into, and it's really fun. There's lots of little memes. There's a whole page of memes that are so funny on there. But we would love you to join and talk about board games, because that's one thing we will do all day, every day. If we could. Yes. If there was topics to speak of, that'll be the ones.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's been great.
That'll be in our link below, the our Discord and where you can reach us. But we'll say it once again: if people want to reach you, where can they reach you, Mel?
So on Instagram, my Instagram is Mel's_boardgame_room. On Facebook, my Facebook page is Mel's Board Game Room, and my YouTube channel is Mel's Board Game Room. How about you, Carla? Where can we find you?
I'm on Instagram at Board Game Specialist, all one word, and on Facebook I have a page called Red Deer Board Game Fanatics. Well, that is it until next week. So everyone have a happy new year, and thanks for listening.
Bye.